Hey, good day from sunny and beautiful South Carolina. This is my 84 M1009, just a modified from the factory Chevy K5 Blazer. These were built in the early 80s and they preceded the original Hummer. This vehicle actually shares some of the powertrain that the Hummer had. This has been a project for my daughter and I over this winter. We had an 86 with about 42,000 miles on it. Great powertrain, great parts, didn't give us any issues, but it came out of Fort Knox, Kentucky, and it was rusty as heck. It just so happened that a friend of mine here in South Carolina had this 84 body, again only 50,000 miles on it, but it was missing the engine, it had some damaged axles, but it's almost rust free. In really good shape. There's a couple dents and dings, but it's the body's really straight and it's been in good shape. So we spent this winter combining them, moving the engine, moving the powertrain, and then just hours on all the little things, from horns to voltmeters to all the things that go wrong in a 30-plus-year-old vehicle. The M1009 was used by the military as a communications vehicle. It didn't have the pulling load. It was kind of a weird combination between a 2500 and a 1500. It has the big 6.2 liter diesel, the same transmission that was in the 3500 truck, that was in the first generation Hummer, but this one has the GM 10-bolt axles, right, that don't have the pulling power, but they geared it a lot differently for mileage. So this thing could go a lot further, and it was set up for communications. There's an antenna mount on each side. This is not a stock military antenna. They are tremendously bigger. And you'll see some tabs on this fender well that was designed for radio shelf. If you look at those two horizontal power lugs, that was also for radio communications. And if you look on the center of the dash, that was also a radio mounting plate, and there's a couple other small things that came with that. This has been a fantastic truck. Absolutely love driving it. It drives very well still. The motor has not given us many issues. Fairly easy to work on. I'm trying to keep it as stock as I can. Some things, though, you just not worth replacing. The front seats were just totally destroyed. It's hard to get seats that were in good shape, so we got these out of a Honda minivan, actually, some Unistrut, and they fit very well in here. Very nice seats. I didn't want to do cloth because, again, sometimes we get caught in the rain. I'd rather have it hit the vinyl or the leather. Dash is pretty stock. A couple things with the military trucks is they had this blackout light option that was to turn off the brake lights and headlights when you're convoying, and it has a 24-volt gauge right there. This is a hybrid 12/24 volt system. That was one of the requirements for NATO and for some of the communication equipment. So what GM did for this vehicle is they created a 12/24 volt system. When they went to the Hummer, it was just straight 24. But this has two alternators. That's our 12-volt side. Part of that feeds back in over here, and that steps it up to 24 volts. The starter and the glow plug system and then the radio equipment all ran on 24 volts. However, everything else in this vehicle, headlights, taillights, the very few electronics it has still runs on 12 volts. Pretty stock underneath the hood. I did get rid of the GM square fuel filter. It just seemed to be a hassle. We did a Napa screw-on, which works really well. Some of the tricky things with this vehicle was it just used different parts than the other Blazer, and not weird parts, but for example, this engine mount is for the Chevy 350 gas motor. I learned that by trial and error when we put new motor mounts in and swapped everything over. It wasn't the 6.2 liter mount that you could get in the stock Blazer from Chevy. The reservoir overflow came from a early Chevy's van. Part of that was just because where the original one sat is where that battery's up on the fender. In the regular Chevy Blazer, the regular Chevy trucks, that other battery was over here. One battery was there, and then of course the overflow. Everything here is pretty clean. She does leak some fluids. She is an old Chevy diesel, not a lot though, but she runs really good. We absolutely love this truck. We love driving it places. We're hoping that we can get many years out of it, and we'll continue to just do little things to it. Again, it's a 36-year-old vehicle, so little things break, but that's part of the fun of owning this. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this vehicle, and hopefully soon I'll do one over here on my my fire truck. That is a 76 Dodge, also a military spec vehicle, and we're still running it as a fire chief's truck at our small volunteer department. Anyways, hope you have a good one, and hope to send you another video.